Hey everyone, it is March the 11th, 2017, Saturday. Time to turn those clocks back, if you live in this area of the country anyway. Alrighty, well, TowerGate, where are we today? It's day 8. Not a whole lot going on today on day 8, but there's two interesting things of note. The first thing, of course, is that there still is no word, nobody's heard from Loretta Lynch. She still doesn't want to talk much about whether or not she signed a warrant for surveillance on Trump or anyone else for that matter. She had no problem coming out making a video calling for blood on the streets, but she could not come out and make a video or respond as to whether or not she had any involvement in launching a investigation or surveillance of Donald Trump. So that tells us a lot. Loretta Lynch doesn't have much to say. Haven't heard anything from our good buddy over at the CIA either. John Brennan, where's he? He hasn't got much to say anymore these days. So again, as I've stated through previous videos, these two people are laying low, hunkering down, staying quiet, and they're doing it for a reason. And I think we're going to learn what that reason is when we find them, hopefully in front of a couple of committees, hopefully in front of a grand jury, and they'll lie to the committees in Congress. It's tougher to lie to a special prosecutor, and it's tougher to pull that off in front of a jury, because juries can tell when you're lying. They can tell when you're covering up. They can tell when you're doing those sorts of things. And of course, a special prosecutor, independent counsel, he does have prosecutorial powers, which the Congress does not have. So that's probably the most interesting thing happening today. And so at this point, I think we should put out an APB, an all points bulletin for Loretta Lynch. What did she know and when did she know it? Something else that's kind of interesting, though. Wikileaks released a list of people who Obama has put under surveillance. And the list is incredible. It's very, very long. And it's the who's who of world leaders. Sarkozy, Merkel, Berlusconi, the heads of the UN. It's one person after another. Friends, foes, doesn't matter. Obama apparently spied on everyone. Not just individuals and multiple. And keep in mind, he didn't just have access to one of their phones, because a lot of these people have multiple phones. He's got all their phones. He's got their homes. He's got their offices. He had world leaders all around this world wired for sound on every single form of communications that they engaged in. So this is a guy who loves surveillance. But also a long list of meetings that Obama apparently bugged, wiretapped, listened into. So it's not just people, it's meetings themselves with many people involved in these meetings. So this tells us a lot that Obama really likes surveillance. He likes spying on people. He likes listening in on people. And not just here, not just world leaders outside the United States, but also it appears that from this list, it appears that well, we don't know if it was Obama for sure, but we can assume it was him directing it. It appears that that news reporter from, I believe, ABC, I think she left there now and she's independent, Cheryl Atkinson. If you remember, Cheryl Atkinson was writing a lot of stories about the Benghazi situation, and she found out that her computers were being hacked, that people were getting into her computer and getting information from her. And so she had a forensic computer expert come in and take a look at her computer, and he determined that the type of programs he was seeing are the types of programs that you would expect to be run from the government. In other words, the intelligence agencies. So we can assume that these intelligence agencies probably didn't do this just on their own, because this was a political move. She wasn't doing anything illegal. No one suspects Cheryl Atkinson of being a foreign agent or anything like that. They just wanted to know her sources. Excuse me. They wanted to know her sources. And so it's likely that, being political, it was directed by Obama. So that is what we know. It's a little bit slow today. Not saying something couldn't break later. Or maybe Donald Trump will wake us up tomorrow morning like he did last week with some more tweets. So anyway, looks like kind of a slow day on the Obamagate. But I'm sure it'll pick up steam again as we enter into the work week. If anything happens later, I'll upload a video. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'll do a video regardless. I'm going to follow this. I'm going to give a day-by-day update because I want to go back at the end of this thing, which this could go on for a year or two, could go on for longer. I want to be able to go back and catalog the day-by-day events as they transpired. Keep in mind, the investigation into Watergate began during the primary season as Nixon was campaigning for re-election. And this didn't all play itself out until a year and a half after Nixon won re-election. And keep in mind, he won in a landslide. Nixon won a 48-state landslide, and 18 months later, he was resigning. So these types of things, investigations, when you get into the deep state and you throw in all the variables that we have to look at, along with all the efforts that will be made by the establishment to slow it down, to drag it out, and to do everything they can to obfuscate the situation. That will all be done, and that's why these things take time. The same thing happened in Watergate. But eventually, someone did drop the dime. That was John Dean. He was the rat. And we can expect that when the pressure gets too great to bear through the investigation, someone will finally decide that they really don't want to go to prison for Obama or Lynch or Comey or someone like that, and someone will probably start singing like a bird. And that's what I expect will happen at some point. So anyway, day 8, no really new news breaking, but we'll keep watching it. Thanks for tuning in. Share this video if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. I love your comments. Y'all enjoy the weekend, and if you're in this area of the country, don't forget to set your clocks. Alrighty, talk to you guys later. Bye.